the U.S. relationship with Japan is strong.
Yep.
What is the national security concern the president sees by having this investment in an American company?
One more on U.S. Steel. I guess more broadly, what message should other foreign companies who are considering investing in the United States take away from this decision by the president?
Look, again, this wasn't about Japan. It's not about Japan. We have a strong alliance with Japan. We have worked together, as you know, I've mentioned before, to strengthen our economic partnership. That is something that you've seen this president work tirelessly on over the past 4 years. And certainly we talked to Japan about this particular decision. We've been in direct touch. This is about a domestically owned, operated steel industry, and we're talking about our national security, of course, but also our supply chain, our resilient supply chain. And so that's what the president wanted to focus on. That's what you saw, this action from this president. And so that is going to be our focus. We're going to continue to work on our relationships with our allies across the globe. That is something that we're going to continue to do. I just talked about the president going to Rome next week. Certainly that is very important. The president in the past 4 years has been able to mend many of those relationships, and you've seen the president on the global stage and how those relationships have really mattered to our friends across the world. And so that's how we see this. This is not about Japan. This is about what is right for America, and what is right, and how he saw the best way to move forward with this decision. Remember, CFIUS did this analysis, and they provided us with their thoughts, and the president took this very seriously.
So it's specific to steel. That is sort of an industry that is
Yeah.
maybe viewed differently than other, like whether it's IT or chips or any other industry that a lot of foreign investment has come into the country for. There's been a lot of foreign investment in other industries beyond steel.
Yeah.
Those investments are not at risk, or they shouldn't rethink those as a result of the U.S. Steel decision.
Let's step back. CFIUS took this on. It's an independent evaluation and an independent agency, and they gave their thoughts. They gave their report to the president, and the president made this decision. So let's not forget how we even got here. And so I'm not going to get into other industries. I'm focusing on what CFIUS presented to this president and the decision that the president made. You heard from him. He put out a statement on this in his voice, obviously, so you heard from directly. You heard from me on why the president made that decision. So that's why we are where we are today. So look, you saw the president's statement. He talks about the CFIUS evaluation, how they determined that evaluation, how they got to their, again, determination that this acquisition would place one of America's largest steel producers under the foreign control and create risk of our national security. This is from CFIUS. They are independent. The president said he was going to let the process play out, and it has played out. And so if you think about our national security and our critical supply chain, CFIUS, referred the matter to the president to make that decision. And so the president took that very seriously. He's always going to make sure that we put Americans first, and that is how you saw this decision play out from this president. And I talked about China and how they tend to distort the global market steel through unfair trade practices. And so this is something that the president took very, very seriously, and took CFIUS determination. We got to remember this was a cross-government panel when you think about CFIUS and the decision that they made, and so that's how the president came to this decision. It is about making sure that a U.S. company is U.S. owned, U.S. operating, supporting, continuing to protect the U.S. steel makers, obviously a union, and that's what the president led with, and that's how he made this decision.